Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck. Hello and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Matilda Swift here with my co-host Samantha Cummings, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over a dozen books between us and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along for our Mastery Through Missteps journey. Each week, we cover a topic to help along the way. This week, it's our Q4 review! But first, what are your wins and whinges of the week?
Well, thank you very much for asking. My big win was, it's just been Christmas. And I'm currently still living in the post-Christmas bubble where nothing feels real and everything is possible and time doesn't exist. So I feel great. So that's my big win, Christmas. Love Christmas. I'm such a Christmas fan. Got lots of good presents, ate lots of good food, still doing lots of fun things. My other big wins of the week are that I finally, and I have left it this long on purpose, finally started going through my 2025 finances to do my tax return. So I was like, I'll do that, the week before January.
A month, that's fine.
Yeah, I know, I'm still early. I just wanted to do it before life started again. And that's been really fun to see how much I spent this year. Great fun.
Was it more than you had thought?
Yes, more than I thought, but not like too much. It's I'm not bankrupt. It's just more. I just had done more stuff. Like that's the thing. The spends are the stuff that I've done. So I've done more stuff than I realized. I've made more money this year than I have any other year. So they definitely don't balance in any way. But it's nice. It's nice to see numbers stacking up in ways that are okay. And I also have started doing my read through of the book that I'm going to start editing next week. So everything feels great. I feel like I'm on track. I took so much of December off that this week I'm just getting back into it, and it feels like the time off has been worthwhile. My whinge is that I don't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
I have to go in, and I don't know if I have to go into the office, but I have to work on Friday. And it just feels disgusting.
Like a crime.
It really is a crime. I do so well not working. I can fill my time perfectly well without anybody else's help. But unfortunately, I have to go back to the office. So that's my whinge. How about you?
I mean, I feel like it's a whinge that I have to go back to my co-working space and do writing business stuff. That feels bad enough. I think this December, I have been in my elements. I have read a book every day. I have just lived on wine and cheese. I feel like a medieval traveling, I don't know, like a troubadour. Like a medieval troubadour. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it.
And that's my best life. Yeah. But yes, so all wins, obviously it's Christmas. I'm dividing my life into the period before this Christmas, which is known as BCW, before chocolate wine. I discovered chocolate wine this Christmas and my life has changed forever. Everything that's gone before now was meaningless. And I'm making some more chocolate wine tomorrow. This is from back in the period when chocolate was hot chocolate. So it's an 18th century drink. And I found a recipe for mulled wine added chocolate into it. And it's just, whatever you think it is, it's better than that. It's what you would imagine the White Witch would give Edmund in Narnia if he weren't a child. I would throw over my siblings for that, in a heartbeat.
How spicy?
I'd throw over you for that. I made it with mulled wine.
Okay.
So I'm quite heavily spiced mulled wine, but you don't have to any spicing. It's up to you.
No, I was thinking could it be spicy? Do you think that if it was...
Sounds unpleasant to me, but...
I know, I obviously really like spicy things. I have got chili chocolate, chili hot chocolate.
Yes. Yeah, do it.
Okay, I might
Yeah.
use that chili hot chocolate and some mulled
So
wine
the
and see what
proportions,
happens.
if anyone wants to make it, so the recipe that I found was from like 1743 or something, and it was made with port, but I replaced 2/3 of the port with mulled wine. It's going to become a cooking podcast because this is whatever you're doing right now. Stop and make chocolate wine. So you heat your wine-based liquid, 750 mils. So I had 500 of mulled wine, 250 of port. Heat that. Stir in some sugar. It wanted more sugar than I would say was necessary because I'd already mulled the wine, so it had sugar in. So like a little bit of sugar. You don't need tons. To taste. Add it later.
Yeah.
And then chop up some dark chocolate. 130-ish grams for that portion, so not as much as you would think. I would have thought it was not too chocolatey, and then just stir that in and like keep mixing for like 10 minutes until it's really, really mixed and thick, and it thickens more when it cools. Yeah, do that for the rest of the podcast. Be stirring that so it's ready to be drinking as we're talking through our wisdom of Q4. Yeah, so everything that's come before my life now is nothing. Now I've discovered chocolate wine. I can become my true self. I've also been reading Christmas books. I read A Christmas Cozy Mystery every day until Christmas Day, and I'm now reading books about the history of Christmas, which is bizarrely not where I discovered the recipe for chocolate wine. But I have got an awful lot of facts that I'm boring everyone in my life with, so it's very enjoyable. I love it. And it has been exactly the right thing. And again, like I mentioned, I think last week, that is all thanks to you that I've done this extra reading. And I feel like it's brought me so many epiphanies for my series coming. So it feels fantastic. I've got a couple more books in that to read. And then I'll be writing the first book in this new series from mid-January. So those are wins. Do I have any others? I'm an aunt. That's another win. It's exciting, but I've not met the child yet. So I feel like I'll reserve my judgment until I, get to see the kid.
Yeah, that could be a jerk.
Yeah,
Total
exactly.
Jerk.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, but it's that's nice. It's a nice thing. And do I have any whinges? No, I had cheese and crackers for lunch today, and then some stocking chocolate. So all winning. And I'm currently
Yes.
drinking like a Christmas spiced tea. And tomorrow I'm going to make some more chocolate wine.
I am gonna make chocolate wine tomorrow for sure. I've got all the things necessary. I have some mulled wine that I need to drink ASAP because I already
Yeah.
opened the bottle. So yeah, I gotta get rid of that. Put it to some good use.
Well, message me when your life has changed forever.
Okay. Yes, I will. So we might as well just get straight into the topic. Today's topic is the Q4 review, which is scary. Like I can't even comprehend the fact that it's the end of the year. And I'm in denial because I'm still just pretending that it's Christmas and New Year is not a couple of days away. So how did you do for your Q4?
So I think I said last week that I was like, oh, I've not done well because I haven't even looked at my Q4 list. I don't know where it is. Don't know what it might be. And also like I knew I was going to do no writing related work in December. I was just going to be reading and researching this new series. So I was like, what could I possibly intend to do? And I found a list in my planner that had written Q4 on, but I believe this was like my sketched out Q4 plan that I made back in Q1 when I was kind of dividing the year up. So I looked through it and had things in there that were like, yeah, I did do those, but they were just very like they were a bit like we were saying last time. They were kind of the jobs I was already going to do. And then I listened back to our last episode, the Q3 review one, and compared it to what I'd got here, and it was quite different. Some of it's the same because like there were things like I wanted to write a novella, so I wrote a Christmas novella that I serialized on my website, which actually took up a huge amount of the month in terms of like other admin time, but was very useful and fun. So that was in there, and then a lot of it was things that I have done. So I feel very accidentally smug. I do feel like at some point in the episode today we should talk about the concept of quarterly reviews, and we keep coming back to them even though we're not good at them. So why do we keep kind of going around this? What is it we want to retain from them? Because again, I just want to reiterate, I didn't look at my Q4 list the entire quarter. So why is it almost just that we want to have like a quarterly conversation, like a quarterly check-in, and not actually make a list because we know we're never going to look at it or do anything with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that for me it's more like a forcing of me doing admin, which I do need to do. So I do tend to do a lot of tasks and then once they're done, forget about them. And I like to remember tasks that I've done so that I can see the physical like proof that I've done the stuff. Otherwise I'll just forget it. So I do like the reviews for that, but I am not actively seeking out the tasks. I am writing down things on my Q4, on my like task list, which is just things that I want to do. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for any other reason other than like I'm going to do it anyway. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And the stuff that I do, I was always going to do, and the stuff that I don't do is always the things that really go into challenge weeks because it's the stuff that I don't want
Yeah.
to do. So it's helpful to do it, but I do feel like we said this in the last episode in the Q3 review, that it's more, we need to figure out really what our BAU is. And I think we probably both have figured out what our BAU is. It should be more of a check-in of our BAU and then other stuff, like other tasks that are purposefully set aside to do, and then just have to do one or two of those like every now and again. I don't know. I feel like I like it, but I also feel like I'm not connected to the way we're doing it because
Yes,
it feels
it's
like
a good way to put
homework,
it. Yeah.
and
Which
I
I think
never
like
do
when
homework.
you do like a quarterly review or like quarterly anything at work, it's almost always to present it to higher up people.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of gives them a way to look at big picture things because often, if you're meeting with higher up people weekly, you'll talk about like the tasks on your to-do list that week and you don't get a chance to look at like, is the business going the right direction? And annually is a time you would have that conversation, but then you want to have checkpoints throughout the quarters. Monthly feels too brief, really. You kind of got nothing done. So it is a way, but I think for me, when I've experienced the past, it's been a thing to report into somebody else who controls the business. And it's like, I control the business. So who do I think I'm doing this quarterly report to?
Yeah.
Me. But it's like, it's a
Yes.
different
Yeah.
part of me. It's a different hat that I wear who needs a quarterly review. But I think because me and the hat, we're in the same body as like me, the writer, and me, the business runner, like, and me, the admin person, like we're all in the same body. It's not like I need to do this review in the same sort of structured, formal way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it is often like I'm just doing the things that I plan to do. And last week
Yeah.
I was saying like I planned out my whole year. Like that's it. There's no flexibility. The whole
Mm-hmm.
year was planned out week by week, day by day on a big giant wall planner, which has got like some spaces. I was chatting to a friend today who who's not a writer but like has been a friend for a long time, has like really seen what I've done in my writing career, and he's very good, and we both talk about the goals a lot, and we were really talking about like how's it been since I quit, and how's my year plan looking, and he was like, have you got time in there for holidays? I was like, no. It's like, have you got time for weekends? I was like, again, sort of no. But what I realize I'm really trying to do is have just like a life that doesn't feel like I need weekends. Like I'm trying to have a more relaxed week, and I
Mm-hmm.
want my writing to be so infused in my life and like my business, because there's no way, like I'm never stopping work at 5 p.m. I don't have kids, so like I can understand how if you have kids, you really want to have like a division of life and work. But like for me, I work really well in the mornings. In the afternoons, I have a big dip, and I think I'd rather make better use of that time than just sitting and staring at a screen, sort of slowly nodding off. And then in the evenings I like to do more work,
Mm-hmm.
which is just a rambly way of saying like I think I'm still discovering things about my plans and like how I'm organizing things, but also my year plan, it's built around me working a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no flexibility to be like, you know what, this quarter I'm really just going to focus on like what could I fit in? Nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's it going to be?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is how it
Yeah.
feels. It's like we're just doing the stuff that we can fit in. That's
Yeah.
the quarter. That's it. It can't ever be anything else. I'm on my list.
Yeah.
I have things like I've got fun things like set up a Pinterest template, which I did, and then I have things like sort out my email sign up process, which I didn't do because
Yeah, that's so big.
because it's not because it's such a big task. But then I also
Yeah.
have like set up my 2026 plan, which I was always going to do, and do my finance spreadsheet, which I was always going to do. It's just, they are just my BAU stuff, and everything
Mm.
else is hope and wish I have time to do it, and I know it'll make it better, but I would have to squeeze it in as
Also, it would
extra
have to become an
work.
emergency, right? Like we
Yeah.
did squeeze in extra stuff this quarter because the episode after the Q3 review is the episode about GEO, and we
Mm-hmm.
squeezed in loads of stuff about GEO this quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And also because translations are becoming, big, and there's lots more additional software and options for that. I have squeezed in starting translations, and I'm making time at the beginning of next month to work on translations, and ads. And it's like it's a bit like in other business I've worked for, like small businesses. Like often you are just doing the thing that sort of shouts loudest, which is not necessarily the most effective way, but also I think part of it is just like the phase of business we're at. So
Yes,
like we're saying,
100%.
we're squeezing as much as we can. Really, we're not. What we're squeezing in is as much writing as we can.
Yeah.
And we're in a phase of building a lot of backlist and also
Hmm.
like iterating, so like trying to figure out more and more what the market, you know, how it's aligned with our writing desires. And like
Yes.
writing a series, I'm like, okay, that one I feel like I thought it was going to work and it didn't quite work, or it needed more push in this way, or whatever it is. Like I think you can't know. I think, or most people can't know from their like first attempt at something
Hmm.
what's going to work. So we're only on like second and third series, and there's only so much you can know from that. Uh, oh, just got a cat come join us. Um, yeah, so it just feels like what we need to do is spend time on writing and like iterating all that kind of side of
Hmm.
things. Whereas if we had a more mature business and we got an enormous backlist, we might say, this quarter, I'm going to do no content creation. I'm only going to work on updating all my back matter, sorting out my automations, and like I'm going to work on getting everything in order again. Or this
Yeah.
quarter, I'm going to work on getting everything in audio and making sure that's all sorted, or expanding my use of IP. Like
Hmm.
there are other options that we don't currently have any incentive to work on as much as we
Yeah.
have the incentive to work on creating more backlist.
Yeah. No, I agree, because I think when I think about when we started this and we started doing the quarter reviews, we every quarter we were learning new things. Every quarter it was just a new lesson that we were learning, and that was fine. It worked really well. But now I'm still learning lessons, but I'm learning lessons on a bigger and slower scale.
Mm-hmm.
Now running my business, and now I'm just trying to figure out how to make the business better. And
Yeah.
that can't be chopping and changing every week, doing something different, because now I'm just to like throw in a fun analogy. When we first started, we were a one-man dinghy, and we could change directions however which way we wanted to, or we were on a
Mm-hmm.
surfboard and we were chasing every wave that we saw. Now I'm in a
Mm.
big boat, and big boats take a while to change course, and maybe
I
I
think we're
don't
in a
want to
bigger
change
boat than we can
course right
necessarily handle
now.
as one person, right? And it's like it's not
Yeah.
like an oil tanker, but it's quite a big boat for one person to manage.
Yes. Yeah, so
And then
that's
that
how I
feels like,
feel. So it's
and then
like,
someone's like, "Do you want to pick up juggling this quarter?" Like,
yeah.
no.
Or like, do you want to just like, there's an island over there which may have something you could learn or add to your
Mm-hmm.
business, but it does mean going off course for a while. And even though I don't know if it's going to take more time out of your journey, but it could. So do you want to make
Mm-hmm.
that decision right now? Because you have to make that decision right now. And if you don't, you're going to miss it. And then you
Mm-hmm.
don't know what to do. I can't be trying to make quick decisions anymore at this point. Like, I don't want to. I want to take
Mm-hmm.
my time to make decisions. And I'm now at the point where I feel like I know where I'm going, and I don't want to be distracted from that, because I'm so excited to get there that I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to go off on any side quests right now. This feels like it's making sense, but I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
like it just feels like it's making sense to me. I feel this in my heart
Because
of
you're on the
hearts.
right
Like,
quest, right? You're
yeah.
like you you feel like you're on a path that's worth pursuing straightforward, and then that means
Mm-hmm.
that every quarter is just like goal,
Am I
quarter goal,
still
keep
on it?
going.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Am I still going in the right
Forwards.
direction? Like, get my compass out and just make sure I'm
Hmm.
like I haven't made any silly decisions, or I've not been distracted too much, which is probably
Yeah.
what I need. Yeah, that's the core tag. Have I been distracted? How can I get back on track? Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I almost just think like just this conversation, like a quarterly check-in conversation, is really what's needed rather than
Hmm.
thinking that we're going to make any quarterly goals. Because I think I often perceive this conversation as like, okay, we've reviewed last quarter. I've had a chat about this quarter. Now I'm going to go away and make a list of quarterly goals. Like I'm not
Hmm.
going to do that. It's just like
Hmm.
this is a chance for us to check in and talk. Because in fact, the stuff that we talked about last time, I've got my list here of what I wrote down as I listened to the podcast. So it was write that novella, but also um, make an admin list. So like get my house in order with admin, which I made. I made a whole giant BAU list. In fact, this year I've got a new planner layout which has a section for BAU every day, so I can see how my time is divided. And interestingly, I think I had not fully appreciated the fact that like actually the beginning of the week is very BAU heavy. And BAU, for anyone who didn't listen to our Q3 episode, it's
I can't
not
believe.
is not the behavioral analysis unit in Criminal Minds. It is business as usual. So the stuff that you do every day and you can't not do it. So you have to factor in your time. So yes, my BAU is very heavily weighted towards the beginning of the week, which is interesting because that's always the time I think like, right, fresh start. I'll get down to loads of dedicated, clarified thinking time. And in fact, and then like, why has my day been derailed by admin? I have that same thought every single week. So what I need to do is be like, okay, this is your BAU. Find the most useful time to do it. And it might just be that I'm always so tempted to do admin first thing in the morning because it feels like a good win. And I really need to find a way to not do that. So on my list was sort out that BAU. And in fact, one of my goals was on the podcast, was like, get my house in order. I think I've still got some bits to do in that because I think one thing I want to do that I haven't quite done is sort of like make sure I am figuring out my scheduling in terms of like not always being surprised by stuff that comes up, like, oh, what's on my cover? Oh, that book's coming up soon. I should put it on pre-order. Or like I don't have that. I do it when the next last book's up, but like I don't have the systems in place I would like to quite yet.
Yes.
I think I'm making still too many decisions. So, but that's fine. Like I want to do that over this year. I didn't need to now. But one other thing I had on was like research new series, which I did, and I think that is I've done exactly what I wanted to do with that. And then also sort of set myself up for full time, which I do think I've done. And I really think I'm so glad I took I did it at the time I did. So I wanted specifically to leave my job before the clocks changed in the UK because the clocks didn't change in my other jobs. It would have meant starting work early on a dark, cold winter morning. So it gave me like a good deadline of like a good nudge out the door. But what that actually meant also was I had November in my co-working space, November in an office to try and find a schedule that works for me. And I was like, I'm under no obligation to say I'm perfect from the beginning. I'm just going to see what happens, observe how it goes. And then December, I knew I wasn't going to sort of sit with any dissatisfaction from that because I was going to go straight into not in the office, just reading every day. There is no schedule at all. And in fact, my schedule has got later and later in the day in a way that I don't enjoy. But I just have to like, that's what my body wants to do, is to stay up late and then sleep late in winter, which it's not going to kill anyone. It's fine. So yes. So I feel glad that I had a chance to try in November, and I've got a chance to reflect on that now and then set up a new schedule for January, which starts very soon. I'm not ready for it, but okay.
No. I'm definitely not ready for it. But I'm also like eager for it. I'm at that point where I do feel like I'm kind of waiting to start stuff because I want to keep this holiday feeling alive. But I've rested so well that I'm eager to like jump into what's coming up. Like I'm so excited for 2026. I feel like I'm bursting with excited energy. Like I can't wait. I'm really excited. It's very very sad.
Do we have an episode coming up about next year? I can't see because I've got a cat sat on my planner. Hang on.
I've got these things written down, but not right in front of me. I'm not even joking when I say this. I have 5 notebooks in front of me.
Okay, I've just checked my. So no, we don't have another episode about like what do we do next year. So I think this would be a good time to talk about maybe our words of the year and how that's going to influence our quarterly goals and what we're thinking of next year. Because I think this feels right to me as like have a quarterly like. In this conversation, this is us setting our quarterly goals and like where do we feel like we want to go next and what we're already planning to do, rather than saying I'm going to write a giant document, a tick list of everything I'm going to do and achieve that. Because I think I already know what my quarterly activities are going to be, and maybe like my quarterly like vibe goal, like my sort of what I'm aiming to improve in myself goal. So yeah, I think I know that. I'm going to write it down as we're talking though, because otherwise, obviously, I'll forget and I'll have to come back and listen to this episode right before next time we do this quarterly conversation. So I'm just going to wriggle around a cat again. But yes, have you got your word of the year for next year?
I haven't got it in front of me, but I know what it is. So I wrote Dominion.
Lovely.
Just a small, really like small mindset. Yeah. Basically, what like I wrote Dominion as my word of the year because I really want to establish like my own dominion. Like I really want to create my world, and that's my writing world, but also just like my life world as well. I really want to step into the person I want to be, and like the vibes and stuff,
Mm.
and I want to feel like I am the overlord of my own universe.
Hmm.
And that sounds like really big and lofty, but
So
it's
good.
but yeah, like so what? But that's it. It actually feels like a natural progression because last year or this year, my word was ascension, and I feel
Hmm.
like I have done that. I feel like I have leveled up to the point where now I am so far from where I started. I'm able to now look down and look back and see things
Hmm.
and feel like I have so much more control over my life and and what I'm doing and where I'm going. So that's where I'm at right now.
So how are you going to kind of embody that in Q1?
I am getting all of my ducks in a row. So I will be bringing my werewolf series under my new pen name, my new brand,
Hmm.
and I will be like getting my book cover for my new book and working on the next book that's coming out and editing and everything. So I will just be basically on a one-way track towards releasing the next book and then the final book in the trilogy so far. And it could be that this series continues, but right now I'm just doing 3 books and see how that goes.
Hmm.
And that is my only goal for this year, is to have one completed series under my name, which is my werewolf series, and then by the end of the year have this series also boxed off, and that's it. That's and I feel like that is like a good base for my whole business.
Hmm.
It feels good.
That feels very good. Um, yeah, and like having dominion over that, being like, this is your land that you stand on. You've got these
Yes.
books in place.
Hmm.
Um, is there anything that you're going to change about your process and admin that kind of fit in with that as well
No, because
in
I'm
Q1?
still I do want to get a better handle on my admin just in general, being a little bit more in control of what I'm doing and taking a note of what I'm spending. And because I always think like I'll keep a track of like all the things that I'm spending as I go, and I always start the year off well, and then it dwindles, and I get bored and I stop tracking it, and I just have to rely on
Hmm.
invoices and checking my bank statements to see what I've been spending, which is fine because I'm not spending a lot and I've not got a lot of income. So right now
Hmm.
it doesn't take that much time. It took me like a couple of hours yesterday to go through my
Hmm.
year's finances and figure it all out. But that's not great for if I start making loads of money or I start spending loads on ads and I've got more incoming and outgoing than I did this year. That will quickly become a problem if I don't stay on
Hmm.
top of it as and when it happens. So my Q1 goal really is to keep track of that, and that's like and it's such a small task for some people, but for me that's a big task because
Hmm.
mentally I'm not somebody who likes looking at money or tracking money, and so it's actually quite a big personal issue.
Hmm.
And that other people will be like, That's so easy, like just track your money." I wish I could explain how that's not easy for me. It's
That
as
stuff that's easy for you is not easy for them. So people have
Yes,
different
exactly,
easy
yeah, it's as easy as you writing a teen, a YA fantasy book.
Yeah.
If you're not a YA fantasy writer, you wouldn't know what to do. But for me, that's easy. So, yeah, that's probably my big goal for Q1, is to get a grip of that. And if I only get a grip of that whilst also do my BAU, I would be
Hmm.
happy. I would feel like I had stepped into my adult shoes, like my big girl shoes,
Mm.
my boots rather than my trainers.
It's so tricky with like keep track of finance, like because a lot of it the money is not the thing you're deciding about, as in like as on an annual basis, right? So like you decide, I'm going to get a new cover for the series and I can afford the cover for the series, so I'm going to get it. And like that doesn't factor into like, can my business as a whole this year afford this thing? Because I think when you're not making a huge amount of money, like that's not a way that it feels natural to think about it, because like, well, no was the answer. No, I can't afford it. But then like I'm never going to make any money without spending any money. So then
Mhm.
I just spend my own money, but it's like how much money. Yeah, and I think I'm good at keeping I'm now good at like keeping all my expenses in one place, but I don't put them in a spreadsheet and tally them up during the year because like it's irrelevant. That's not going to change whether I spend that money or not.
Yeah.
If I need a cover, I need it to publish a book. So that's what I'll buy.
Yeah. Yes, but I, when I was going through my list of things that I'd spent, had forgotten a lot of stuff that I had spent, and it was only through looking through invoices where I realized, oh yeah, I did that, and oh, I did that too, and it was, if I'm doing that more this year, if I'm spending more this year, then that will eat up more time and make more stress later, and probably will lead to more mistakes. So I think I do need to try and put that into a spreadsheet as and when I go, and hope for the best.
I mean, even just like putting the invoice in a folder as and when
Just
you go is like
invoices in a folder,
big part of
rather
it.
than rather than just flagging them in my inbox and thinking, yeah, I'll come back to that. I won't forget. Oh, I know. I'm so bad. I'm so good at some admin.
I've been there. Like I have been there thinking like, oh, somehow I got to February and I'd stopped saving any invoices. I'm sure I did it all year and then somehow no.
Yeah, I know. But I really am good at other things, like other admin tasks, and it's just money really. Like I just hate looking at money, and that is still something that I'm working on, is not seeing spending money as something I don't want to look at.
Yeah. I mean, also, it's like, it's really clear from the way you talk about it that, like, you feel like I need to defend this, right? And, like, everyone has that things they need to defend.
Yeah.
So I think even if you're, like, all you do is, like, because it's a small job, and so even if all you're doing is getting a handle on that so that you feel more control over an aspect of your life it will help you, like, it'll make you feel confident to have control over, that's worth it anyway, even if it's actually not an enormous thing to actually do.
Yeah, it's just a big mental hurdle, and I will jump it. And other than that, I've just got BAU stuff. Like all I'm doing at the moment is BAU stuff. This whole year is just going to be BAU. I'm just trying to really stay focused and just get these books published and have this base that I can build on.
Yeah,
which is
the solid land.
My island. That's where I'm heading towards. That's where my boat's going. It's actually my own island.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had a real swerve with my word of the year this year. So in previous years, I had conquer, which is like conquer the plant and also conquer the concept, which I guess kind of ties in. And then year 2, I had bloom, which I feel like now I don't connect with. Like I think the concept is good, but it feels so soft. It feels like passive because like blooming is like you're just opening up in response to the sun. It's not active. But it's interesting that I chose that last year.
It's not so much active as it is just a natural thing, and I think that the way that you have developed this year has just been a natural thing for you. So I think it's strangely you have done something. You have very softly expanded, like you've opened up and found new things as you've gone, and you haven't necessarily chased things hard or made huge changes. You have actually just
that is true.
You have just blossomed into like the person that you are. I think, and I think that actually is the kind of year that you've had.
I think it is too, but I think it's interesting that like that's not a word I would ever imagine.
No, you would never now. At this point, no. That is, I could never imagine you saying that again.
I'm just gonna bloom this year.
Just bloom.
No, so this year I'm going for iconic, which maybe just connect with like conquer. But yeah, I think I wanted a word that was like big and also required me to take like ownership and action, but also that really required me to focus on being more like, it's not like being more human, like being more myself, and being like unapologetic myself, which feels like my next big step. So it's both like a personal mindset word, but also a business word. Like I want to make my business iconic, not just like another crazy mystery series. It could be written by anybody, it could be written by AI, nothing. I want to be like, word of mouth recommendation, something different. Something like some people won't like it and some people won't. That's what I'm looking for.
I think I know when we were talking about this, when we were sat in the coffee shop in Chester and we were talking about our words, I had just started watching the Taylor Swift documentary.
Yes,
and that
inspired my word choice.
And that is what inspired me a lot, which I'm not like a Swiftie, and in that I don't think that she's literally the best person in the world. I think that she is just a really nice person. I think what she's done is great, and I think that she's very inspiring.
Mm.
And when you were talking about like iconic, and I was thinking about how we were talking about Taylor Swift, it made me think, oh, I feel like I am Taylor Swift in the Reputation bodysuit, walking down the stage with
Mm-hmm.
attitude. That's kind of like
Mm.
my word dominion is also the picture of like Taylor Swift in the snake bodysuit with an attitude. What Taylor are you?
I feel like you can guess that I'm going to be like tortured poet's dress on the Roomba, like
Yes.
full of rage, and be like, I
Yes.
don't care if you don't like this, it's
You're
fine.
who's
Which
afraid
I,
of little old me.
yeah, which I am going with for a Christmas series. Like this is the energy I'm bringing. And all I'm releasing next year as a new series is a Christmas series. But I've been talking loads about my Christmas series recently, actually, people. And one friend that I was talking to was like, I can't believe there's not loads of cozy mystery Christmas series. And I also sort of couldn't believe that because it's like, it's almost like heightened cozy mystery is Christmas. It's the coziest time of the year possible. And I actually think one issue is a lot of cozy mystery writers are like female heads of household already, and those are people who tend to have the least fun at Christmas. And maybe they does not find like a super joyous idea to write a Christmas series. Whereas I do because I'm the head of a household of myself, an adult child with a credit card, and 2 cats, which is the funnest sort of household.
Yeah.
But yes, but I think I could have, and I've been thinking about this Christmas series for ages, right? And I've read all these different books, and I'm now reading these like Christmas. I mean, lots of books about like the myths and histories of Christmas. And I think it would have been really easy to think about this Christmas series as like basically very similar to my English cozy culinary Christmas mystery series, but set at Christmas. And I think I just realized the more I was going through it, like the more I wanted to bring in things that I really care about and that are very unique to me. And I feel like I'm not really ready to articulate this in a lot of detail right now, but I think the way I'm thinking about it feels very different to how I thought about series in the past, and it feels iconic. Even though I'm not going to be number one on Amazon. I'm not saying like this is where I'm going. It's going to be
Huh.
erotica slash Christmas cozy mystery. No, I'm not looking to like shake up the world. In the same way that like I think we both talk about Taylor Swift because she's so open about her process and like making documentaries about things. Like it really helps you see that like, oh, you don't have to literally be trying to change the world. You just have to be being really yourself and like really know what you're wanting to do and go out there and do it. And that's it. That's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I really feel like that's where I'm at right now. And I've still got some thinking to do on this, but I think iconic is my word of the year. So thinking about my Q1 goals in terms of that, I have planned my schedule, I think, well, in that I've got a time for a first draft of my book one, and then I go straight into the draft of another book the next month. But then the rest of the month is redraft book one because I know that I want to give myself the opportunity to write it wrong and badly, and then to come back and think, now I know what the series is, and to not feel like the bad first draft is a failure, to think like, it's the first draft of a first book in a new series that I've got big goals for. I am going to write it and think it's correct, and then a few weeks later be like, I am a terrible human being, I've written the wrong thing. Like, no, that's fine. It was just the first draft. I will go back to it and do another one.
Yeah.
So I've set myself time my schedule to do that. So my Q1, I've got 2 weeks for planning this series. Time for a first draft, time for a whole rewrite, all in Q1, and time for writing one or two other first drafts of other books. So that feels really good. It's like I'm really trying to set my next series up for success. That is my Q1 goal for next year. I've also got a couple others, but I'm going to make a note of that so I don't forget and have to just listen back to this in the 5 minutes before next time's podcast. There. And then I need to. I've set myself aside some really specific admin time for a couple of weeks to work on translations and ads, but I don't have yet like systems and budgets for that, which I think in previous years and previous quarters, I would have just been like, just I'll just sort that out later. I'll just give this a little try and see what happens. But I think actually what I want to do is when I'm in the office at the end of this week in my co-working space, is literally sit myself down and put on a different hat and be like, you need some things written down for like your processes and your budgets. What are you going to do and how are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, which feels unpleasant and I would say not iconic, but like not iconic in a fun way, but iconic in a business way.
Yeah, iconic for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this time last year, and just like every quarter I always say, oh, I'm going to set up more ads. I'm going to finally get on top of my ads. And all I'm thinking about for Q1 at this point is that I just want to create the images for ads and come up with copy and basically just make templates. Like I'd already started for my I was going to say mission week. No, my challenge week. I was doing for my mission week. For my challenge week, I was setting up templates for social media stuff, and I also wanted to. Then this is based on the reports that we had for our books from Novel Publicity, and I wanted to go through and do the same thing for my ads, and I haven't done that. So for Q1, I'm just going to, for fun, play around with making images for ads and coming up with the copy based on the report, and just look at that as more of a creatively fun outlet before I start spending money. Because I realised this at the end of this year, is that I'm not in a rush to make more money. I don't desperately need to have my ads start making a profit for me. I would rather spend a bit more time on the fun part, the creative part, before I start spending the money. and I'm just softly going to do that and have fun making the images. And my Canva, is renewed for another year.
Canva Pro that we're still not sponsored by, but we love.
Yeah, I am happy to dive into Canva and just start making images and have fun before I start trying to spend money on it. And it also just gives me a bit more time every month I put a bit of money into my business account. Just gives me a bit of time to build up a good amount of money to then start spending. That feels like I am taking control over my dominion.
I forgot I was going to add one more thing to my list that I said I would do last time, which is like send around my launch plan to other authors who I think will be able to give me good feedback, which feels iconic. That feels like the sort of thing that if someone said it on stage, you're like, wow, that's bold. I'm bold now. So I've made my launch plan. I want to do some more work on it. So I've made a launch plan. And it's quite sketched out, just in terms of like, does this budget look reasonable over this amount of time and spending these platforms and these weeks? Send that out to some other authors. So that's going on my Q3 list. No, Q1. Not going back in time.
And you just made me realise I need that as well.
Yeah, this feels like a good set of quarterly goals. They're sort of like, I think they're things that I was already going to do, but articulated through the lens of my year plan and like given slightly more shape rather than just like do translations. Like actually I realised, I need to make sure I've got processes for that and plans.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we're both at a point now where we've done so many, like both of us did bigger launches this year, or different launches to how we used to, that we have now figured out a little bit more about the process, that writing it down and making a plan is possible now where it wouldn't have been this time last year. So I'm feeling good about that. We've done the stuff, done the work.
Yeah. I feel a bit scared.
Yeah.
These feel like big goals.
But we're entering Act 3. We can handle it.
Yeah. Right? Nothing will go wrong in Act 3, so that's fine.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure. I'm feeling strong and ready for the fight.
I am feeling like after some chocolate wine tomorrow, I'll be good. I'll put a link in the show notes to the recipe for chocolate wine that I found, by the way. Obviously, I'm just trying to spread the word. But I amended the recipe by changing 2/3 of the liquid to mulled wine. Just FYI. And I put in less sugar. I'll put that in the notes. That's the important stuff, guys. That's what you come here for. A recipe.
I'm looking forward to seeing this. It's funny because I thought you would have put more sugar in because you're such a sweet tooth. I am the same. I don't put a lot of. This is such a British conversation.
Yeah.
I don't put a lot of sugar in my mulled wine either. I tend to not add that much.
I had a lot of spices,
Mm.
and I
Oh God,
think
I
they
love a mulled
bring,
wine.
yeah.
If you're a listener from a country who does not do mulled wine, I'm so
Very sorry
sorry.
for you.
So
Yeah.
sorry.
Um, yeah, I decided this year I'm going to keep it going throughout winter because I think it's ludicrous that we stop drinking after Christmas because it's still cold and dark, and now I don't have Christmas to look forward to.
We actually haven't really had winter yet, so
Yeah, I know.
I
It's
think
not
that the
even below
snow.
freezing, so
No, the snow's on the way. I've been going outside, like taking Juno outside and stuff with no coat on. Just,
hmm
I think I went out in a t-shirt the other night because I was just like, it's cold, but it's
yeah,
not
it's warm.
that cold. And I feel like the coldness is on the way, and that definitely
Yeah,
means chocolate wine until the coldness
all
lifts.
round. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have some tonight if I'm honest, just to test, just test recipe.
Yeah,
Because now
of
I've got
course.
sugar store.
Of course, yeah.
It's so good. Yeah. Oh gosh. Honestly, best thing I've ever discovered in my life.
I'm so happy for you. You really bloomed into this.
It's gonna be like the main thing, the main drink in my Christmas series, and I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna like spread the word. Chocolate
like
wine.
like Judy's hot chocolate in the Santa Claus.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is such a good hot chocolate. I just think I
Yeah.
couldn't beat that. So, but
Yeah.
chocolate wine, I think, is actually better than Judy's hot chocolate.
I think so.
Perfected over thousands of years.
Yes. Again, sorry for the niche reference. Surely
Everyone's seen the
it.
Santa Claus.
Everyone's
Yeah.
seen it. Everyone knows about Judy's hot chocolate.
Mm.
I don't think do we have any more to say on the topic? Are we?
I've sort of forgotten how we do the podcast, if I'm honest. It feels like it's been
Well,
a decade.
it does feel like it's
Do
a
I
decade.
speak now?
Yeah, you do speak now. If you are watching any of these clips, or if this clip makes it in, since we last did the podcast, I feel like my hair has grown like 6 inches.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I don't know what's happened, but Christmas has done me something great because my hair is so long now.
Yeah. And it looks like model hair. It looks, like you've had it freshly blow dry and everything. Okay, I do remember how we do the podcast now. Next week, we'll be contingency planning and working out how to plan in advance for any problems that might come our way. Have you got any thoughts on this already?
Yes, I actually raised this myself because I haven't really got much in the way of holidays booked yet. I know that I will be taking holidays next year, but I also know that I haven't been ill in a while, and touch wood, I know that I'm going to get ill soon, and I haven't really built myself any contingencies around that, about how I deal with having to take time off for my schedule. So I just want to have a conversation about it. It might just be that talking about it makes me feel better, but I would like to talk about how you work around being ill or needing to take a holiday, or just anything. Like, I think a good contingency plan makes you feel more prepared and less panicky about things going wrong. So that's where I'm at. How about you?
I just live in a state of illusion where I think I can control everything and everything will go well. So I would like to have a conversation where someone with more sense of reality would question that, because my plan is always, and I put a bit of extra time in, like I put a bit of buffer time in. I think one thing I've got good at over the last couple of years is when I'm feeling a bit run down is just slowing down, which I have never been good at in the past. But next year, looking at my schedule, I don't really have time to do that. And if I missed a week that was like a writing week through illness, there's no capacity to catch up, because often the next free week would be after the week at which I was meant to edit that book. So I would be stuck, and I don't want to think about that. But I should. So yes, I would like this conversation, and I might bring along the big old wall planner to see what I need to be booking in. I have got a holiday booked. Sort of by accident, because I'm going to the Seville conference, and I just decided if I'm going to go to Seville, I'm going to put a few extra days in Seville in. And I even caught myself recently thinking, should I do some writing in Seville? I've got a room booked, I could deal with writing. I was like, no, I deliberately put it in as a holiday. I want to take a holiday.
Yeah. Yes, you need to take a holiday for sure.
Yes, I will put a list. I put a link into the Seville conference because tickets have not yet got on the sale. I'm just know I'm going. It's called the Global Publishing Summit, which annoyingly is GPS. Don't Google that. I'll put in the link. Yeah, so I'm taking a holiday then, but I really don't have capacity to have like out of my control
Mm-hmm.
problems. I only have capacity to get sick when I've scheduled it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Which is definitely how the universe works every time.
yes.
Yeah.
I take
Okay.
vitamin D, so how
Mm-hmm.
could I possibly get sick? That's my plan A.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
we'll see.
yeah. So we could do the conversation on this. Maybe I'll have some other
Mhm.
ideas next week.
Yeah.
But yes, I also think it's a good January conversation because you start January thinking I'm the king of the world. I could do anything this year, and then the moment something goes wrong, you're like, well, never mind, maybe next year.
Yeah.
So yes, I think good conversation next week. Hopefully you will join us in the Discord, everyone, to chat more about that. And it has been like nicely Christmassy over Christmas, just people putting pictures in from around the world and showing I've put my cats in and their lovely Christmas joy. And my Christmas tree, to which I added paper chains today because I just found them in my attic finally on the 29th of December. But they're very pretty, so they need to go on.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so we've been having a nice chill over the Christmas period, but we will be revving things up in the new year in preparation for something fun that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So join us in the Discord. Link is in the show notes, where you can also find the link to our coffee, which now everyone's rich with their Christmas money,
Yeah.
presumably. That you
Yeah.
got. You can send us a coffee and a cake, or chocolate wine, whatever you want to send us
Yeah.
our way. Put in a little bit of money so I can spend it on my chocolate wine supplies. And you can support the podcast's hosting and recording and editing. So thank
Yes.
you very much for joining us today, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.